Hello, my name is Brother Sean, and I am a member of the Teo community of St. Francis. And I say that with a sense of pride, because I remember back in 2008, April in fact, kneeling before the tomb of St. Francis in Assisi. I had a profound experience. And I certainly didn't expect what I heard, but nonetheless, I honoured it. And I've given my life to empowering others take back their power, reclaim their divinity as a beloved of God. But that power is already there, but many prefer not to exercise that power. And the power is an invitation by God to come on a journey, a spiritual journey, and on that journey find your true self. Face your demons with love. Not run away from them, but to bless them and to release them to the Supreme. Our community consists of men and women who live a simple life following in the footsteps of their own teacher. But of course, as a Franciscan Celtic community, we try to emulate the traditions of Francis, of embracing God through the natural world, the soul of Francis. And to join our community, we invite ordinary men and women to become a spiritual affiliate. So if you are an ordained interfaith, interspiritual, interreligious minister, or an ordinary man or woman, you are welcome to come and join us. For our community is an online lay monastic community. There are no rules and no restrictions. But the greatest rule, really, is to demonstrate Franciscan hospitality to yourself and to others in the community. I think of a quote of the great Newen, who wrote eloquently about living in the present moment, dressing ourselves with gentleness and creating beautiful memories. Well, that's how it has been for me, living that simple life as a contemplative lay monastic Franciscan monk from my own little monastery without walls. But it wasn't like that when I was a nursing monk in a Catholic order. It was much more stricter, with emphasis on keeping the rules that went back to the 14th century. Yes, it was a strict life. There was lots of discipline, but there was also many wonderful opportunities to grow spiritually. And whilst I don't adhere to a lot of the doctrine and dogmas of the Church, especially those that alienate the whole family of God, particularly in matters of sexual orientation, for I see every child of God as equal and created in the image and likeness of God. And even though I've experienced a lot of rejection from within my church, especially as a member of this community, but we have followed the teachings of Francis and his request, endorsed by Jesus, to embrace all faiths and none, like he did in the 12th century. And I endorse Newen's heart response, that forgiveness is the cement of community life, listening as spiritual hospitality, and the church as the garden of God's grace. Our community, as I've explained, embraces all faiths. So we welcome individuals who are seeking a sense of community but in the world. Because we are in the world, but the difference is we are not of the world. And I see that it's important in the spiritual life to keep an open mind, open to ideas, experiences, to people, the world and the sacred. Openness is the ability to go with the flow, as Theism puts it, without expecting predetermined outcomes. It means being receptive to new possibilities without prejudging them. It is an ability to make yourself available to out of the ordinary opportunities. As a spiritual affiliate within the Teo community and as a lay monastic, it's important to have openness to the unknown, the exotic, the bizarre, usually seen as the sign of a free spirit. You can increase your openness by practicing empathy. Move outside yourself into another situation. And that way we try to access feelings and ideas. But the secret key for all spiritual affiliates is to come with a sense of openness and an awareness of the marginalized in our society, for the great teachers associated with the marginalized, as Francis did, as Jesus, Gandhi, Mir Baba, Paramahansa Yogananda, all of them were most comfortable when in the presence of the marginalized. The contrast to openness, we know, is narrow-mindedness. It is characterized by a rigidity of mind. Pessimistic people who have preconceived disappointments are not open. Dogmatic and stubborn people are basically unapproachable. And we have seen those trends in our community where individuals have joined who were rigid, stuck, and closed. So I would say to become a spiritual affiliate in the Teo community of St. Francis, who embraces all faiths, the fourth order of Franciscans in the modern world, how available are you to others? How interested are you in people, especially those quite different from you? How flexible are you? Do you usually think you already know how things are going to come out? Are you willing to try something new? These are the questions to ask to assess your openness and to determine the benefits you might derive from being a spiritual affiliate. The word spiritual, we know, is a way of life. The word affiliate is to be connected to a network or community. And a spiritual affiliate is that individual who has a thirst, a yearning, a deep inner hunger to serve God. And we can do that in the modern world by embracing Celtic Franciscan lay monasticism from our own home, our monastery without walls, without having to leave family and friends to give up your job and home as I did when I entered the Catholic monastery aged 16, 350 miles away from my family. And I was blessed to see them once a year. It was a contemplative order, but once we were ordained as nursing monks, we were thrust into the big cities to hold down important jobs in our nursing homes and hospitals. It was a shock. trust me, coming from a contemplative environment into active ministry. And I missed the cloister, I really did. But that was then and this is now. And it's amazing how everything goes full circle. I'm back to where I started at 64 years old. I'm back to where I started at 16. Spiritual affiliates are welcome as members, but first they have to undergo a period of probation to see that it's right for them. And we do this by inviting them to take the Tree of Life course. It sounds academic, it looks academic, but it's not academic. It's a heart-centered course that empowers you to take the first step on an amazing journey of exploring who you are and allowing your higher self, your I am presence within you, your heart, the gateway to your soul, the gateway to God, to rediscover the mystery that you are a beloved of God. At the end of the 6 months probation, the oblate, as they're called, are invited to share their views, to evaluate their course, and if they have honoured their learning contract and been true to their heart, then there's no reason why they shouldn't proceed into the novitiate program, which is a 2-year program of monastic formation. And in that program, we use as the bedrock of our spirituality the interior castle by Teresa of Avila. And that can be applied to any faith, for it's not converting one to Catholicism, it's actually empowering one to embrace one's own interior castle. But whatever your spiritual practices are, you are encouraged to continue with them. You're not invited to suddenly become a Catholic Christian, though many of us in our community are. But you're not encouraged to be anything other than who you are. If you're a Buddhist, a Sikh, a Hindu, a cross-dresser, transgendered, it doesn't matter. What matters is your heart, that you are true to your heart, and that you honor your spiritual master's teachings and you incorporate them in your training as a spiritual affiliate when you embrace Celtic Franciscan spirituality, which is more about tolerance, forgiveness, peace, love and joy. And in the end, to find yourself, to be comfortable within your own skin, and to celebrate your diversity. If you are a disabled person, as I am, your disability is God's ability to touch lives through you. As an online community, our community room is live stream, where we meet 4 times a day for agape, for morning prayer at 9, for evening vespers at 5. We have a vigil for peace dedicated to Gaia for the restoration of Jerusalem, the heart chakra of the world. That's at 8 o'clock every night. And then at midnight I lead a 30-minute spiritual reflection with a guided meditation before the cosmic Christ and the divine feminine. So 4 events unite us, but the time zones, of course, because we have members in different parts of the world, so they can't all attend the community room. They can watch the recordings, but we do advise them to try and join us whenever they can, whenever it's possible for them. And we would like our spiritual affiliates to lead morning or evening prayer, of course in keeping with their time zone. We live a very simple life. As a spiritual affiliate, you're under no pressure whatsoever to do anything that would compromise your heart and your spiritual practices. But we would ask you in your novitiate training to develop a rule of life that's right for you. Not to adopt our rule of life. We have only guidelines. Nothing is set in stone. We are a vibrant, living, moving community. We all signed the resonance agreement to show that as a group of Franciscans who embrace all faiths, that we don't come into the community with a lot of bitterness or anger or unresolved forgiveness towards our former religious family, as I have found with some members who came from the Catholic family. They came with a lot of hurt because their church rejected them because of their sexual orientation, and that is tragic. Yes, religion has a lot to answer for misinterpreting God's love. But we are not here to sit in judgment. And if we say we are interfaith, interspiritual, or an ordained interfaith minister, and we carry that baggage with us, then are we being loyal to our heart? Are we really living out our calling by saying that we embrace all faiths, but have reservations about others and condemn them? As a Catholic Christian myself, yes, I too have been wounded by my church. But I love my church. I embrace my church. But I do not go along with all the nonsense and the hierarchical dictates. Like Francis, I prefer to keep it simple. I prefer to work from the outside in rather than the inside out. So being a spiritual affiliate is to carry on where you are right now, to do what you're doing right now. But the beauty of being an affiliate is that you're part of a loving family who truly cares for you, who respects you, and who wants you to become a part of their journey. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And in the words of St. Francis of Assisi, an amazing 12th century mystic who embraced all faiths, may God reward you in your search for your truth, and in honoring your heart, you will reawaken the divine within to allow your heart embrace your soul, the gateway to the mystical heart of God. God bless you. And we hope that you will be guided by the Supreme to do what is right for you.